Let's roll. This is Coronavirus Video, Sociology 101. Today we're going to talk a bit about the last question in the third unit. And the topics for the last question begin first with subjective and objective terms. What's a subjective term? Subjective term is an opinion. For instance, what's the best pizza in El Paso? A lot of people say Peter Piper. Some say Pizza Hut. I say Artivino's. Who's right? Of course I am. I'm the teacher, but that's an example of a subjective opinion, a subjective term. Subjective means it's an opinion. We don't always agree on opinions. It's hard to measure. And we do use subjective terms in research. For instance, we use the term happiness, and we talk about countries that are happier than others. How do we determine if one country is happier? Well, you know what we do? We actually go around and we ask people, hey, are you happy? And the guy goes, yeah, I'm happy, man. I just got a good job. Or, yeah, I'm happy I passed sociology. Or, yeah, I'm happy I'm drunk. However, they may be happy. You notice it's opinion. It's a subjective term. But, problem with subjective terms are that really they're not always accurate, because maybe that person's happy now, but maybe they're not happy later. So it's kind of an opinion term. And when we see them in research, you need to be aware this is not what we would call a hard fact, but more an opinion. Objective terms, on the other hand, are what you think of as fact, data. For instance, the number of people killed last year in El Paso. That's an objective term. You can find that out by going to the FBI, sheriff department, police departments, and they'll say, look, this is how many were killed. It's easily measured. We agree upon it. People don't debate, well, was that a murder or not? Because if it's classified as a murder by the sheriff's department, we usually go, yeah. So again, objective terms are easily measured. We tend to agree what they are. You can verify them and check data easily to see if it's true. A subjective term is more opinion, and it's really, we don't agree on it all the time, like happiness. What we have to be careful with is sometimes people make something sound objective, but it's subjective. For instance, in reporting on marijuana, they talked about amotivational syndrome. And they said marijuana causes an amotivational syndrome. Now, what is an amotivational syndrome? You know what an amotivational syndrome is? Lazy. They said marijuana made you lazy. So therefore, they're saying, don't use marijuana, it makes you lazy. But what is laziness? Is laziness something we agree upon? When does a person go from being lazy to not being lazy? How do we determine if they're lazy? For instance, in this article in which a medical doctor claimed marijuana made you lazy, his example was a high school quarterback who started smoking marijuana and told the doctor that maybe he didn't want to play football anymore. And the doctor goes, oh my gosh, look at this. The guy starts smoking marijuana. He no longer wants to be a quarterback on the football team. Look what marijuana is doing. It's making him lazy. He doesn't want to go through the training. And doctor said, look, therefore, amotivational syndrome. He's no longer motivated to want to play football. But you could turn that around. You could say maybe marijuana made him smarter, because maybe the high school kid realized that playing football and having people jump on you and having your head bang on the ground and get concussions was really a dumb thing to do. You could make an argument marijuana made him smarter. He got smart enough to realize it's a dumb thing to play football and endanger your health. This is the problem with subjective terms. They are opinion. It just depends on how you look at them. So this is the difference between an objective and subjective term. End of lesson 1.